Hey you guys, thank you for being here. My name is Madeleine Klein and I talk about Canadian true crime and missing persons. Today I want to talk about the disappearance of Emily Bailey from Hamilton, Ontario. I had someone reach out to me a couple weeks back and ask me to talk about Emily, and when it comes to cases from smaller cities and towns, there's usually not a ton of information online in articles, but I can almost always get some local or inside information from someone. I can usually get some rumors or hearsay with one or two theories being prominent. In many instances, I can get the names of those believed to be involved. However, there isn't enough, if any, concrete evidence to convict the people responsible. At the very least, in cases of people going missing, there's usually a last known location. But in the case of Emily Bailey, there's nothing. Very little information is known about the days leading up to Emily's disappearance. We don't know when she went missing, from where, we don't know who she was with, nothing. Details are unbelievably scarce. Whatever happened, and somebody definitely knows what went down, is not saying anything to anyone. I reached out to the young woman who approached me about Emily for any local knowledge, and she informed me there really was none, but she directed me to a podcast called the Nighttime Podcast. I'll link both episodes down below. In the first episode, they talked to Emily's mom, Lori, and in the second episode, they talked to Emily's brother, Ben. This podcast is where I got the majority of my information from. 23-year-old Emily Bailey is a mother of two young girls, 2-year-old Kinsley and 3-year-old Harper. Emily is outgoing, kind, and a fabulous mother. During her teen years, Emily developed some mental health issues as well as started using drugs, which unfortunately led to addiction. It wasn't until Emily became a mother that she cleaned things up and was doing really well. Unfortunately, life happens and Emily began to use again, resulting in her daughters being put in the care of their grandmothers. Emily then began couch surfing and staying where she could. After a falling out with a friend that she was staying with, Emily was living in a tent for a period of time. Even under these circumstances, Emily was very involved in her children's lives and made a serious and obvious effort to be present. It was the second misscheduled visit in early January of this year that set alarm bells off to her second daughter's father. After the first missed visit with no phone call, Kinsley's dad got immediately suspicious, contacting other people in Emily's circle. After the second no-show, Kinsley's father immediately knew something was wrong and reported Emily missing on January 10th, 2022. Emily was last reported to be seen on January 2nd, 9 days prior. Emily's exact known last whereabouts is also up in the air. It's alleged Emily was last seen between 8 a.m. and noon on January 2nd, 2022 on Weir Street or in the Barton-Kenilworth area. I think the corner of Barton and Kenilworth is only like 15 minutes away from Weir Street. Some say she was last seen going to a friend's house to dye her hair. Others say she was last seen at a New Year's party on Weir Street. Emily's family didn't know any of her friends or connections personally, and when Emily's brother Ben asked where she was staying shortly before her disappearance, she told him with a friend. Ben later came to find out that this was actually a boyfriend she was staying with. A very vague tip came in associating or connecting Emily with a dark gray GMC or Chev truck on December 31st when she was looking for a ride somewhere. As far as I know, that's where that tip ends. We don't really know anything else about this truck. I guess there were a couple rumors and changing and conflicting stories floating around, but nothing confirmed, no solid leads, and no prominent theory as to what happened to Emily. In March of 2022, Emily's case was transferred over to the homicide unit. Emily is about 5'7" with a slim build. At the time of her disappearance, she had shoulder-length dark hair with green highlights. On her forearm, she has tattooed a Batman symbol and an elephant. Something obviously very wrong happened to Emily because she was in the process of making active life changes. She had recently gotten a job, planned to attend therapy, and hoped to go to school for social work. She had previously proved that she could get clean for herself and her daughters, and she was on the road to doing so. What happened to Emily Bailey? I know this case was passed on to the homicide unit, but we can't rule out that she was taken and still alive somewhere. She seemingly vanished without a trace, and somebody out there knows something. If you'd like to help, I urge you to join the Facebook group called Missing Emily Bailey, Hamilton, Ontario, and share this video to get Emily's face out to the world. And if you know absolutely anything about Emily's disappearance or the days leading up to, please contact the Hamilton Police Service or Crime Stoppers if you wish to do so anonymously.